Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissach. Thanks so much for joining us. Very glad that you're joining us. It's one of those things that I love doing. I sit with my parents very often and I listen to them talk about how wonderful high school was for them. Terrebonne High School. They happened to finish in 1957, but I've got three beautiful ladies up here with me today who all graduated in 1953. The first is Jean Scott Hall Scott, Mama Jean, class of 1953. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Glad to be here, Steve.
All right, very glad. All right, we sitting next to her, Miss Joanne Toop Smith, was the vice president of the class of 1953. So thank you very much for joining us, Miss Joanne.
Very glad to be here.
All right, Miss Barbara Boudreau-Leday also joining us. And so that's one of those things that we're so very excited about. It was interesting listening to y'all talk a little bit about your classes. We're going to show some of these pictures a little bit later, but it was the first year, your eighth grade year was the first year that they made the switch to go from 11th grade of finishing high school to 12th grade. What was it like to feel like, oh my gosh, we got another year of school? Was that shocking for you guys when y'all were in eighth grade? Tell me what y'all thought about that.
Well, it was
a
pretty
little
much of a shock,
Right?
in a way, but exciting.
Okay.
Getting over there, getting started, with this large group. It was pretty exciting getting over there, but a little scary.
A little scary at the same
Yeah, a
time.
little scary.
So, Ms. Barbara, tell us about maybe the number of people that were there and where people were coming from.
Well, we had 210 classmates in 1953 that graduated.
Wow, that's a large number.
Yes. And we had 119 girls and 91 boys.
Okay. My friends would call that good numbers.
There are around 50 still living.
50 still
About
living.
50, yeah.
And you guys are about to celebrate your 70th.
70. Who thought that we
70th.
would be here at 70?
That's
Yeah.
fantastic, though. 70 years of a reunion, and we'll talk about how that kind of came to be. But maybe, Miss Joanne, you could tell us a little bit about the volume of people. Y'all had a large class, but y'all had people coming from lots of places, right?
We did. Terrebonne High was the only public high school in Terrebonne Parish.
Okay.
So all the schools from all the bayous and from Houma, we rode school buses
Right.
every day to Terrebonne High.
Right.
And it was a tremendous learning experience. We all came from really small schools,
Right.
and be there, and there we were with several hundred kids,
Right.
and it was just an amazing experience. And because of that, we made friends from all over the parish
Right.
that have remained our good friends all these years. And I feel like we were just really very fortunate
Right.
to have had the experience of doing that.
Well, and it's got to be exciting. I know getting together and getting your classmates together to kind of form a reunion is one thing, but when you're trying to do a 70th, Mama Jean, you got some help, right?
I did get some help.
Let's talk about how it came to be that the reunion and when it's going to be and how that came to be.
Okay. Friend of mine, Al Poisson's daughter, Gwen Poisson-Trahan,
Right?
I was very good friends with that family.
Okay.
And we were talking. We were out at a function at one time, and she was telling me about her 50th reunion. They were all excited. And my son-in-law as well was a member of that class
Okay.
of Gwen's. And talking about the excitement and getting ready for their 50th, reunion. And it just hit me. I said, our 70th is coming up. And I said, it would really be nice if we could see, some of the classmates. It would have been nice if we could have done something like, but it was hard now to get together.
Sure. Sure.
So when I told Gwen that, she took the ball and ran with it.
Oh my.
And she just started calling friends, our classmates, some of our classmates, and getting them to help and getting numbers and start calling people and putting it on Facebook. And now on TV and,
Right.
trying to gather as many as we can
And so-
to come.
Right. And so knowing that there's about 50 of you guys
Mm-hmm.
left, it's nice. Sometimes we got to get that next generation involved, right?
Yes,
And so Miss
yes,
Gwen,
right.
fortunately, is the daughter of two
Yeah.
classmates of 53, which
Yeah.
is just really, really
Yeah,
nice.
that's right.
And getting her help is really helpful. And so, it's hard to sometimes get the word out. You have to go through families or that other generation, right?
And since since our 60th, and since the pandemic and things like that, or people do not have their home lines anymore. And
Right.
the phone numbers are
Yeah,
gone.
things
So
are
we're trying
difficult.
to get it out, different ways because we don't have their phone numbers anymore.
Well, this is a shout out because I know there are so many people who maybe have graduated in a class of 53 from Terrebonne High School that may be watching. This is your shout out. You can call us here at HTV. You can reach out to either Miss Joanne, Miss Jean, or Miss Barbara or their families, or reach out to Miss Gwen. They're always glad to hear from you. The class of 1953. We want as many people as possible to be able to go to that, right? And so, really exciting.
Yes, and it's going to be at the Plantation Inn.
Plantation Inn,
Yes, on June the 8th.
June 8th.
And it'll be from 11 to 2, and it is a Dutch treat.
Dutch treat.
Yeah, I mean,
Come
it was
in
so
and pay
quick,
your
we,
way.
hey,
Right.
pay your way.
Yeah, that's
coming
exactly
in.
right.
And so if you go into the hotel section, you go right on down the hall and you'll find us.
To the left.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
again, 11 to 2
11
on
to 2.
June
The 8th.
June the 8th. Very
Mm-hmm.
good. A wonderful reunion, June the 8th at 11 o'clock to 2, Plantation Inn. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I appreciate it.
Pleasure
I look
to be
forward to
here.
good results when y'all come back from that. And that will do it for us here at HTV for Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.